Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this wonderful world and this wonderful day. Welcome to BWTM. I have with me the BWTM Trainer of the Year 2015-2016, Peter Fury. Peter, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, Ingram. It's nice to speak to you. It's been quite a while.
It has. I have to first wish you Happy New Year.
Yeah, and the same to you. I hope it's been a good one so far.
Yes. I guess I've just got to pick up from where we last spoke, which was a difficult time for the Furies back in the November, December time. I don't want to elaborate too much on that because there's a huge fight coming up for Hughie Fury. So I really want to focus on Hughie Fury. So we'll start by the news that Hughie's going to be fighting Joseph Parker in New Zealand. What were your thoughts about the initial arrangements for that fight?
Yeah, we're very happy. He's training well, Hughie. We're doing everything properly. And he's ready. His preparation is second to none, so it's going to be a very interesting fight. We look forward to it. It's going to be we put the work into a very hard fight here, so nothing taken for granted. So really looking forward to it.
As you know, and many people know around the world, we followed the Furies from, well, particularly Hughie, from his first fight, before he had his professional debut, the night before we spoke to Hughie. So we've tracked his career from then, right now to this world title fight. And I remember us discussing in various interviews about the development of Hughie Fury and how you wanted to bring him on, taking tough fights, not easy fights, fights that he could learn, and that's been demonstrated in the ring so far. The last fight Hughie had, as you know, was against Fred Cassie in a fight which didn't have a really good conclusion. Hughie got cuts and, you know, the fight ended the way it did. Hughie won the fight, of course. But from that fight, I know we talked about the development of Hughie. Jumping from Fred Cassie to now fighting Joseph Parker, was that something that was part of the Fury game plan? Or was that something that is, well, you know what, there's an opportunity now, let's take it?
Well, he's had to learn. He's learned the hard way, because not only has he had good, durable, awkward opponents, but he's had to fight those opponents in poor health. And that climax in the Fred Cassie fight, because if you look back, when he came back after the first round, he said, I just feel totally flat. And I said, look, you'll have to just work through it. So he's used to doing that. So now that all of his skin conditions taken care of, he's no longer got infections to deal with. He's a different young man. So he's had all the learning. He's been 4 years now as a professional, so he's more than ready. You know, the Hughie Fury that's going to turn up on May the 6th is nothing like the Fred Cassie fight, I can assure you.
That really is my concern, and I speak this as a fan rather than as a journalist. That's the big concern. Hughie, in the past, we've been told his condition, he's been cleared up, he's been well, and then we were hoping for the Cassie fight to be okay, and then the illness struck again. Is this illness triggered by stress, or was it triggered by stress?
No, it was a skin condition.
Yep.
And the skin condition went from bad to worse to disastrous.
Right.
And nobody picked up on it. A specialist picked up on it in Harley Street, and he just said, look, you got this, put him on the medication. It took 5 months to clear it up, and he's perfect. And this is why it never got cleared up, because it would go down and up, because when he was out of camp and not training, the infections went down, because his immune system was fighting the infections. So, and when he wasn't training, his body would pick up. But every time he went back in the gym, because his immune system had to fight the recovery of the training and also the infections, it was just going down the tube. So, and this was the problem, and this is why it took 5 months of strong medication to get it out of his system and fix the skin. So, you know, that's what happened. So he's totally cured of all that. He hasn't got nothing like that, we can thankfully say.
Absolutely. We you know, that's one of the biggest concerns going into this fight. Is that gonna flare up again come fight night, and is that gonna happen? But if you're saying that it's cleared up and it's cured and he's good, then you're the main man. That's all we need to worry about. Okay, so the health situation is dealt with. Now, in terms of Hughie's mental state, coming off the Fred Cassie fight and the fights previous, without being disrespectful, those fights have been ticking over fights. Those fights have been okay fights, but Hughie's never been on. He's never put a performance on that's been dazzling because of those medical issues. Now, going into a fight against Joseph Parker, where it's an uphill battle because he's going to New Zealand and they're not going to lay out a red carpet for Joseph Parker, which I'm sure which I'm sure you're aware of. How does Hughie now say, well, you know what? I have been performing with the illness and I've done well, I've got by. Now I've got the biggest fight of my career. How do I put those things to the back of my mind and have a fresh start and then go against Joseph Parker?
Well, his mentality is strong. He's never dropped a round in 20 fights. He's never lost one round. You need to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So, although he was struggling in the Fred Cassie fight, it wasn't for what Fred Cassie was doing. He was winning it by a landslide. It was his own health.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's more mentally strong than probably anyone. So fighting is the born and bred to it. So getting in the ring, going everywhere, it might affect certain individuals, but it certainly won't affect Hughie. The same as what these things don't affect me. So that's the fight game is what we're into. That's what we do. So it's all irrelevant. You can't play mind games with someone that's going to fight, win, rain, or shine, and it doesn't mean anything. So what it means is about winning. And Hughie's looking forward to. You're going to see a lot different Hughie because the opponents Hughie's fought in the past has been laying in fights, take his time to have a look, working on different things. This is a whole different ball game where he's in with a guy who's dangerous. He's got a very good chance of winning. For me, this is not a fight you could easily call. So he's in for a hard fight, and this is where Hughie's going to step up to the plate because step up to the plate, he will be doing.
Absolutely. Now, the next thing that I've read about this extra muscle, this extra weight that Hughie's putting on. Again, you're expert at what you're doing. It's not my position to say why you're putting the weight on, but what gives you the confidence that by putting this extra weight on, obviously Joseph Parker is a physical presence as a boxer, as a fighter.
Sure.
What gives you the confidence to believe that putting the weight on is going to help Hughie in this fight, as opposed to him being the fighter we've had so far, which has been very less muscular and less physically, those are the attributes that he's done well with so far.
Yeah, but what you need to realise as well, because of the skin conditions,
yes,
when he was putting weight on, a lot of it was going into body fat.
Okay.
So you need to know that. So the pound was going on, but in the wrong way. Now when you look at him, he looks lean, but he's actually weighing heavy.
Okay.
Let's not forget he's 6'6".
Yes.
That's number one. Number two, he's peaking around 17 stone at the moment. But when you look at him, he's lean. Because that's his build, because Hughie's got very big legs. So, when you look at him and condense it down properly, he's that size. So we're looking to, I think he's hovering over now. I think he'll probably be weighing in around 17.5 stone on the day. So he's there. He has put a lot of lean muscle tissue on. So he's in his best shape he's ever been.
Okay. So going the 12 rounds with that extra weight on him, is that going to be detrimental in the fight?
Well, you'll see on the day, but absolutely not, because I don't rely on punch power. I don't rely on anything like that. If he couldn't do 12 rounds and he wasn't comfortably holding the weight, he wouldn't be that weight.
Right. Great. Fantastic. That's great. It's all confidence, and I love to hear it from you, Peter. Now, Joseph Parker, the WBO heavyweight champion of the world, defenses against Andy Ruiz, his fight against Takam, the Dimitrenko performance. What's your assessment of Joseph Parker as a specimen?
I think he's done everything right. I think he's been guided properly. He can fight. I think a lot of people talking Joseph Parker down, but believe me, a lot of people are avoiding him. So there's only the likes of Hughie Fury that's taking the fight because everybody else is running a mile. You know, that's the truth of the situation. I rate Parker above all the young heavyweights at the minute. So, you know, he's the one to beat, and that's why we're taking it, because we're happy to take it. Because I want Hughie to prove he is what he is. And he's going to, a lot of the people are going to wake up and realise just what this kid's about on the night. So that's what I'm really interested in, because it's not for me to talk him up. It's not for me to do anything. You know, everybody's looking at his past fights. They think it's one-way traffic. Great. I'm out to prove everybody wrong, and so will Hughie on the night.
Do you have any idea? Do you think people are looking at the Hughie Fury that fought Fred Cassie and with the illnesses and thinking, perfect time to fight him? Or do you think they've seen something else? The Parker camp?
Well, what you need to realise, you know, that Fred Cassie has been a year ago. You know, he's been free of his illness for like several months now. So, you know, this is a whole new ball game. Look, Hughie's in a hard fight, but make no mistake, Parker's in a hard fight as well. You know, this is going to be Parker's hardest fight to date, make no mistake. So the best man will win, and good luck to both men. You know, either one can come again. So there's no, it's all to gain, nothing to lose. It's going to be a very good fight.
It is.
Hughie's determined to bring that belt back.
It is definitely a very, very big fight, a very interesting fight. I think it's a toss-em-up fight, really. Hughie's got all the skills to do it. Parker with his strength and you know. But then if Hughie can match that strength, then we've really got a fight on our hands, haven't we?
Well, this is what you say about adding weight, you know. Parker's got to respect Hughie's power, and believe me, he will do. So, you know, they're not going to be able to just bend, you know, wiggle the way in or bob and weave the way in. You know, they're going to, you know, you've got to command respect in the heavyweight division. And when Parker feels Hughie's power, that respect will be gained, I can assure you.
Fantastic. I mean, I don't want to see the next morning, should Hughie go on to become WBO heavyweight champion of the world, I don't want to see the next morning, Parker wasn't good enough, Parker was a bad. Parker is one of the best heavyweights in the world today, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yes,
and
he definitely is. Look, you know, Takam was a tough fight for anyone. You know, Takam's mixed at high levels, you know. Don't forget, he took Povetkin 10 rounds. You know, they're all the right type of learning fights. You know, and he's, Parker's had to learn, he can't just go on the front foot and attack people. You know, he's had to learn to fight on the back foot as well. So, he's had good learning, and he's had all the right fights.
Arguably, out of the champions, you could say that the Parker's has got the best resume in terms of the type of opposition he's fought, the quality of opposition.
100% he has. You know, make no mistake. You know, I'm not going to go about naming all the fighters, but they fought more stiff compared to that young fella. So that's why we've got time and respect for Parker, because he comes to fight. He's learned his trade. So this is a real guy who can fight. He's not been pumped up with some promoter. You know, this guy can fight. So he belongs where he is. So it's going to be an amazing fight. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. We really just can't wait. Okay, so we talked about Hughie, his preparations. I think in terms of sparring, the quality of sparring, what's it been like?
He's had very good sparring for what we need. You know, he's had some good, you know, big hitters, aggressive fighters. You know, fighters moving around the ring. We've had all kinds of them. I've even got light heavyweights in for him to spar with, for speed. So, you know, I've had a mixture of, look, you know, you need to know, I don't leave the stone unturned in preparation.
We know this.
So basically, I wouldn't even, I've not wasted our voices on preparation, because preparation is right. I will never say something if they're not, because obviously on fight night you're going to say, oh, I'm not going to make myself look an idiot. If it's not right, it's not right. And if it is, but it's going well. I'm ready.
Okay, so we've got that. We've got that covered. Training. We've talked about the mental state. We've talked about the illness. In terms of Hughie, being in New Zealand. Let's talk about New Zealand. And the biggest concern out of all this is the judges. If the fight were to go to points, would you feel confident that you guys would get a fair shake?
Well, look, you've got to take it off the champion. You know, if it's a close fight, you're probably going to lose it. it's in his hometown, and that's it. But I'm confident with the judges because the WBO judges are picked by the WBO, so nobody's got a shout in that. But obviously, it's a very close fight. You always tend to lean to the champion. So Hughie's got to take that. He's got to take that belt. It's not a case. He's got to win it convincingly. So I think it's going to be a tough fight, but a fight he can come through.
Okay, let's move on. The various reports of Tyson coming back, I've been very myself personally have been very cautious about the whole Tyson coming back thing at the moment. What's the situation with him in terms of the legal situation and the doping and all this stuff? What is with all that?
I'm not going to go into detail with that. That's being dealt with our lawyers.
Okay.
It's confidential. I can't really discuss that because things could infringe on our case. So
Okay.
basically, that's where it's at. But that's going to be resolved very soon.
Okay, that's great to hear. What is Tyson's what's his state of mind at the moment like?
I think he's okay. I spoke to him. He's astute in himself. He knows what he's doing. So I assume he'll be back when he's ready. That's not for me to say. I don't know. Tyson's his own man. He'll announce his own future. So when he's ready, he'll make that announcement.
Fantastic. Great to hear that, Peter. Peter, I want to hear your thoughts on... actually, it's something I want to talk about in terms of sparring stories. If you're hearing reports that a fighter is constantly getting knocked out in sparring, is that because the training is amiss? Is that because the sparring's too hard? Or is that because there may be a potential problem with that fighter's durability?
I don't think it's got anything to do with durability. I think if a fighter's a little bit weak around the chin or whatever, and they get it, they go down. So durability is not the issue. There's going down because you're tired, your hands are dropping, and you get caught. And there's basically getting hit, and that's it. You're on the deck. It just depends what you're dealing with. So when you say a sparring session, what type of sparring session? Just all different things mean. Is it a spar where they're coming in aggressive to knock someone out and then getting caught? And that's the strategy. They're happy to take that gamble.
Okay, very interesting. So, in terms of those sort of situations, if you hear that about another fighter, potential fighter that you would be fighting, would you take that into consideration, or would you call that hogwash?
I think it's sparring is a lot of it hogwash, to be honest, because in real fighting is totally different.
Okay,
when they've got a head guard on, they can come in, they can afford to make mistakes, they're working on what they're doing themselves. But on fight night, it's a whole new ball game because you can't rush into somebody who's got dynamite in both hands. So where they might get chinned in sparring can probably never happen in a real fight. So, but look, if somebody keeps getting chinned in sparring, it doesn't go too well. So it's the writing's on the wall, isn't it?
It is. It is. Let's talk about. There's a big heavyweight fight coming to the UK. Klitschko versus Joshua. A lot of people have written Klitschko off because of his performance against Tyson. Tyson and Joshua are two different fighters. What are your thoughts about this?
I've said it many times. You've got a young, hungry, very powerful heavyweight who's dedicated in Joshua. He could come out. He could be all over Klitschko, and that's it. Klitschko might not be able to keep him off. And then again, you've got Klitschko who now, if he's thinking to himself, I'm going to bite the bullet, I'm embarrassed what happened to me, this is not the way my legacy what I want it to go. I'm determined, I'm going to just walk through anything to get the titles back. Then I think Joshua's got a big problem. But if we haven't got that, we've got a Klitschko turning up for the payday, and this is his last hurrah, then I see, you've got to favour Joshua heavily.
Okay. In your trainers and what you've seen or what you've heard or what's been going on so far, how are you leaning towards this fight at the moment?
Joshua in the first 4 rounds. If you can't get him out of the 4 rounds, let's go by stoppage later on.
Okay, fair enough. Now, moving away from big fights, I want to talk a little bit to Peter Fury about Peter Fury. Peter, a lot has gone on in the last year or so. The media and lots of things being said. What is your position in the world of boxing today? How are you in love with the sport still? Are you peed off at the sport? What's your view about the media? Talk to me.
Well, I don't know. Tell me what's being said because I'm oblivious to it all. So you enlighten me, and I'll tell you if it's right or wrong.
All right. Well, it's what is? I mean, there was a lot of stuff about Tyson that was said, and about the belts, and I guess you spoke a lot about snakes and vipers and the belts being dished out and all of that, and these promoters and managers and all the rest of it. Have you had a better insight about the world of boxing now, or did you always know it was like that?
Boxing is the same as any business. You know, there's ups and downs in all walks of life. Nothing goes right all the time. So I take everything in my stride because this is life. So it doesn't really matter to me. This is just the way it is. But yeah, it's the same in any life. You know, life's a snakes and ladders. It doesn't matter if it's boxing, politics, business. It's just the way it is. So it's nothing to complain about. You just got to get on with it.
Okay. There was talk about another fight that you've been training, Con Sheehan, and him fighting Sean Turner in Ireland.
Well, yeah, there's talk of anything. Maybe him and Sean will meet down the road. I don't think anything's planned for the near future. So, so that's it. I know Sean very well. He's a good fighter. So if the two will meet down the road, it will be a good fight.
Because I read something in I think it was either Irish Mirror recently in Ireland, and I read that it was a fight that was possibly going to happen near the end of the year.
Yeah, it's quite possible. We haven't discussed it, so when the time's right, we'll discuss it. And it's a fact that I think both will be happy to take.
Fantastic. In terms of Ireland, once again, there was a story that came out again. I'm trying to get clarification on this. That Tyson was refused an Irish Board of Control license to box if the British Boxing Board of Control were to stop him from boxing. Is this true?
Well, he's not. First of all, Tyson hasn't applied for anything.
Okay.
So, but you're absolutely right. If the Boxing Board of Control have suspended Tyson or Tyson's got a problem, then yeah, there's absolutely no way the Irish Boxing Board of Control would sanction or license Tyson. Because they're all affiliated to each other, and that just wouldn't happen.
So, if Tyson was, hypothetically, if he was suspended for, I don't know, whatever time, would you be prepared to go and fight under another boxing organisation, or is that just you're just going to take the penalty and that'll be it?
I've no idea. It's something I've not even discussed or looked at. Yeah, that's I'd rather do things properly.
Right.
And work with the affiliated governing body. So,
Okay.
The question for me is irrelevant, really. It's not something I'd be looking to do, no.
Good. Finally, I want to talk about your working relationship now back with Frank Warren. How's that working out?
It's working well. We all work together, so we're all doing very well. Let's not forget, he's got Hughie to the mandatory #1 position. Credit where it's due. Frank's done a good job, and we've had a few fights now, and then no complaints at all. So it couldn't be better. We're very happy where we are. We've got a very good team around us.
Fantastic. That's really great to hear. What's the situation with Mick Hennessy? Because I'm out in the blue. I don't know what's going on. Are you still with Mick?
Hennessy, I speak to him every single day.
Yes.
He's a close friend of mine. He's affiliated. Of course, he's with us. He's Hughie's promoter and everything else. So he's always been there. So we work as a unit.
Okay.
So that's just the way it is.
Fantastic.
So
And
we work with Frank Warren, Box Nation. We also work with NTK as well.
yes.
We work with all these guys. We're affiliated with them in the boxing, and we've got a very, very good team. We can seek advice, sparring. It's all about helping each other. To get a world title, it's not about one man. You know, you need more than that.
What has the last year or so taught Peter Fury?
At 49 years of age, the last year's going to teach you very well.
Yeah, and okay, now I can hear you clearly again. Go ahead, sorry.
I think we've all got a spiritual life to lead, you know, our paths are already written. So it's up to us to do right in this world, to do right for the next world. So, you know, we all do wrong in our lives, it's all part of growing up. We do our very best, and I'm happy, I'm contented, as long as my wife, my children's okay, my friends are okay. You know, I wish the best for everybody, I've got no bad intention for anyone. And that's the way to live your life. You know, with no animosity, no enemies, you know, love and respect people. That's what living's about.
Fantastic, Peter. That's beautifully said. I wish that everyone could have that philosophy of life. Just one side note. The rise of BKB in the UK, or bare knuckle boxing. What are your thoughts about it?
I think, look, if these guys like to do it and they're making money from it, then who am I to judge anything? I'm a boxing man myself. I'm not into bare knuckle fights and stuff like this. So, you know, but I respect it. It's a very hard sport. You know, even MMA, whatever you're in, could be a judo, whatever it is. Everything's a specialist sport, and there's maximum respect for the guys that do it. So, good luck to them. And you know, it's everybody to their own, isn't it?
Okay, and Conor McGregor, his entrance.
I've got to say, he's a fabulous guy. You know, you just got to love listening to him. Look what he's achieved.
Yes.
And you know, look, maximum respect to these type of guys. You know, they do very well in the sport of boxing, and in MMA, what he's done as well. I know he's talking about fighting Mayweather. You know, look, regardless of what people say, if he can get that fight on, look what this guy's achieved. You know, it's an amazing story, isn't it? So, the height of respect to these guys that can lift themselves to this level.
Do you see McGregor causing the shock?
Anything can happen, but not in boxing, no. I think if you've got long-reading elite fighters can't do any good in the boxing world, it's almost like saying, I would have fancied Mayweather in an MMA fight. You know, I'd pick McGregor all day long.
Okay. Peter Fury, it is always a pleasure and an honour to speak with you. I'm sorry we haven't spoken as much as we'd like to speak with you. I know you've been very, very busy, and you will continue to be busy, and we appreciate you and your time you've given us.
No problem. It's nice to speak to you again, and wish everybody all the very best for me.
Thank you so much, Peter. That's
All
Peter
the
Fury there. Thank you so much, Peter. All the best.